நாங்க வேற கிடையாது என்கிட்ட.
Okay, we are live sir. Video off பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
ஹவாய்க்கு போயிட்டு வந்தீங்களான்னு நினைச்சேன்.
We are live sir.
Is actually from Malaysia.
Sir, we are live. Okay. Turn up பண்ணிக்கங்க. Good. Arun, can you just check live ல இருக்கா?
மற்றவங்க எல்லாம் வீடியோ எடுத்து வச்சு சொல்லுங்க.
We are live. Yes. Sir Pandian sir, so you can mute your video.
Yeah.
Except Madhavan sir and Jayesh. Yeah.
We are live on YouTube.
Yes. Welcome guys.
Wow, that was a bang. AUAA-USA Alumni Association USA welcomes you all and wishes you Happy New Year. Hope we all go back to pre-COVID era this year very soon. This is Jayashree, 1993 batch of Bachelors of Pharmacy and 1996 batch Masters of Pharmacy. Muthu, please introduce yourself.
Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Muthu Irlan of 1990 Mechanical. So, welcome everyone. Jayashree, Nikki, with this program of Down the Memory Lane series, this is the first that we are going to do. Whom are we calling with or talking to?
Yes, let us travel back in time. இன்னைக்கு நம்மளோடு தன் நினைவுகளை பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள வருகிறார் ப்ரொஃபசர் MC Madhavan. வணக்கம் ப்ரொஃபசர் MC Madhavan.
Thank you.
Please brief your first 10 years of AUAA University life. எப்படி இருந்ததுன்னு ஒரு ஸ்னிப்பெட்ல கொஞ்சம் சொல்ல முடியுமா?
Yes. ரொம்ப நன்றி அம்மா. Thank you very much for inviting it to do that. Let me begin with the word அகர முதல எழுத்தெல்லாம் ஆதி பகவன் முதற்றே உலகு. This is a verse I actually used when I started my career in AUAA University as a student in 1949. And then after 5 years of being a student, then I became a lecturer in AUAA University for next 5 years, 1955 to 1960. So I spent 10 years of my life in AUAA University. Is one of my golden periods of my life. I knew every inch of AUAA University during that period. It gives me great pleasure to be with you this evening to share my love for the university. as I said earlier, in which I spent the first half of 1950s as a student and the second half as a lecturer in economics. It was one of the most beautiful and memorable periods of my life. My time there prepared me well for my next 60 years of happiness and fulfillment in the United States. I owe a debt of gratitude to Dr. Raja Sir Muthaya Chettiar for his encouragement and love and affection for more than 3 decades. Thank you, Raja Sahib.
Thank you, Professor Madhavan. Professor Madhavan graduated from Annamalai University in 1955. He did intermediate and Bachelor of Arts Economics with honors. Immediately after graduating, he began his academic career as a lecturer in economics in 1995 at Annamalai University, India. He also earned a doctorate in economics from San Diego University. Professor M.C. Madhavan, also known as Madhu, has had a very distinguished academic career for over 60 years and is involved in social and community development activities for almost 7 decades. Dr. M.C. Madhavan is a professor of economics and Asian studies emeritus at San Diego State University. Currently, he lives in San Diego, California. He also served in multiple countries like Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia, Vietnam, and China. Some of his recognitions are: he is a recipient of 5 Fulbright Fellowship Awards by United States to serve in other countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia. First person to hold that position from Annamalai is Professor M.C. Madhavan. In February 2010, he was conferred Gandhi King Aikida Award for Community Builder and Peace Medal. You can see the medal here. This was given by Morehouse College and Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel, Atlanta. He's also a recipient of Quest for the Best Award. He was a member of World Bank missions to Greece and Iraq during his tenure at the World Bank. He served as an advisor to governor for a province in Philippines. The picture you see here is Mahatma Gandhi's grandson during the award ceremony that he got. There are many more awards he has received in his lifetime for his voluntary involvement in uplifting the Indian and American societies. One episode is not enough to cover those. Let us have more sessions with him on his contributions to the society. இப்போ நம்ம அவருடைய கலந்துரையாடலுக்கு செல்வோம். ப்ரொஃபஸர், உங்களுடைய அனுபவம் அண்ணாமலை யூனிவர்சிட்டி இன் 1949 எப்படி இருந்தது?
நான் முதல்ல அண்ணாமலை யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு போகையில ஒரு பெரிய பிரமிப்பா இருந்துச்சு. The interesting thing about Annamalai University is, as you walk through this Goshen Road and reach the end of it, you'll see such a beautiful and most mesmerizing place. And to the left, you will see Shastri Hall. To the right, the hostels. In front of you, the Meenakshi College. So in between this thing, we had an open space, beautifully manicured area. So when we sent there, well, I thought, my gosh, what a big university it is. Then my father took me to see Sachidananda Pillai, who was the registrar, and then Kandasamy Pillai, who was the bursar. Raja Sir Muthaya Chettiar asked my father to take me to meet those 2 people. After meeting them, I went to the hostels. When the hostel in those days, at that time it was renamed. It used to be called East Hall, West Hall, and Kambar. It was renamed in 1949 as Thiruvalluvar, Ilango, and Kambar. So my room was room number 11 in in Tiruvallur. My roommates were Duresh Raj from Nagapatnam and Palaniyappan from Palavangudi and Krishnamurthy from Tannarkad. And we were the three people. The first time in seeing those people, it was a very interesting thing. That was on a Saturday. The school started on Monday. So I had about 2 days to really explore the university around it. So now I will explain things to you later when you ask the questions about things.
Sure. How did your parents choose Annamalai University for your education?
I think the main reason is my father is associated with the Rajasar family. He was the chief agent in Burma. So as a result of that, then they decided I must go to Annamalai University. Actually, going to the school itself was a big adventure for me. At my age in those days, if there has not been a World War II, I would have been to Burma at the age of 12, carrying some sort of a program. And we will be doing all kinds of odd things. And so, yeah. And so, just a minute, somebody is calling me there. Kangepan, I'm in the middle of the meeting now. Annamalai University, you can also join. Okay? Okay, okay. He's already there now. He's already right now on that. Okay, okay. And so they decided I must go there. Actually, I was telling you about it. I think Kannappa knows what I'm going to say. In our community, at the age of 12 or so, we go to either Burma or Malaysia or something like that. After finishing elementary school and mathematics to calculate interest and other things.
Right.
So fortunately, the World War II came in, and then I had to go. I had opportunity to go to school. That is how I went to school. And then I was studying I was doing my high school in Trichinopoly, Bishopburg High School. Bishopburg College was a very huge college in the 1980s. I'm sorry, 1890s. But it was discontinued. So we were occupying the college premises for the Bishopburg High School. So it was not a big change for me from Bishopburg High School to Annamalai University, but still is a very big change in the sense of the hostels and the meeting number of people. At that time at Annamalai University, we had 1,900 students. And those students came from all kinds of places. Not only from, actually, we used to have quite a few people from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I will tell something about it when you come next time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's go to the next question. How was your first few weeks in Annamalai University?
This is I think, I was only 18 years old at that, I'm sorry, 16 years old at that time.
Okay.
So as a young boy
Very
coming
young.
there into the middle of so many things,
Right.
then I met some interesting people. One of the first people I met was Irisu Pillai from Coimbatore. And he's still around there, he's living, he's in Coimbatore right now. And he is the one who asked me, Madhavan, why don't you be the member in charge, the headmaster of the night school? I said, I don't know much about it. He said, no, you can do it. So at 16, I became a member in charge as the headmaster of that night school for the students from the Tiruvekkalam Cheri. You know about Tiruvekkalam Cheri. As most of you do not know, the name of the place originally was Tiruvekkalam. And the land that the Annamalai Institute occupies, a part of it is a part of Tiruvekkalam. Tiruvekkalam Cheri, you have got the famous temple, Vasubodheswara. I think most of us used to go there. Right. So that is first I thought. And when he said, well, you can do it, I said, all right, I will do it. Then within a week, then there was an election for the University Union. At that time, University Union is split into two groups. One is a senior union, other is a junior union. The junior union for students from intermediate senior union for college students. So the person who asked me was S.D. Somasundaram. You probably know about him. He was a former minister and so on. Somu asked me, well, why don't you contest for the seat on the junior union? I said, all right, I do that. So the first 1 week, I had this opportunity to do something which is very unusual, something that really set me for the future.
That's really interesting.
One question on that, sir. You also mentioned about the night school. What is that? If you can explain.
Yeah, night school is run by Social Service League. There are students in Annamalai University who wanted to do some social service for the people from low income areas. The Tiruvekkalam Cheri I'm referring to is only about half a mile from the Pasupateswara temple. So before my time, there were 3 people who were very important. One was M.S.P. Shanmugam of Kottamangalam and Somasundaram of Tirupattur, and now then Irusupillai. So these are the people who decided to establish a night school. That is a kind of a tutorial for the students from the low-income areas. So we used to go there, and then the students will come. In the beginning, when I was the headmaster, member in charge, the students were only up to the elementary school, up to grade 5. The students are taught by people from the university. The space was the Oriental block. You might have heard about it, Oriental block. And in that block, we'll sit on the veranda and we'll teach the students. So the volunteers were from the people like me who were doing it. So from the high school, I was going to become a teacher, teaching at the 2nd and 3rd grade. And similarly, there are other people, higher education students, they used to teach up to the 5th grade. So that is a very important thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great service that you have done. That's a great service.
Yes, that's what established me as my values. Right. My values go back to that particular incident, particular activity that I had in my life.
Yeah, it's not easy at that young age going and teaching.
Yes, you know what? We used to collect money. You know how much is that? Maximum 1 rupee, sometimes 50 cents. We used to collect about 300 rupees or 250 rupees, and then use that money to buy books, slate, and pencils, and that kind of thing. And we also use the money to do something very interesting. That is to provide oil and soap nut powder for the children, because they never had this kind of oil bath. So we wanted them to take an oil bath and so on. So we supplied that, they take it to them. The interesting thing, what happened was, when we gave that, the oil was not used for cooking, for bathing, it was used for cooking. When we came to know, we decided to go ourselves to the Cheri and smear the oil and so on.
Oh,
and there are a lot of women. One Bhagyam she was the final year honors in chemistry. One Bhagirathi was the 4th year honors in Tamil language, and her sister. And so these people used to come with me to smear the oil on the girls and give a bath. And a very interesting life that you have, right. And that really brought us to see what is all about. Yes. They are not different.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. Can you give some insights about the founder of Annamalai University, Raja Sir Annamalai Chettiar, and his vision?
And I think most of you know something about that. And Raja Sir Annamalai Chettiar wanted to establish an institution in the name of his mother, Meenakshi Achi. So for that, he was used to go to London and so on very often in the earlier days, before he became actually the Raja title in 1929. One of his trips to University of Oxford University convinced him you must establish a unitary university. In India at that time, there was only one unitary university. That was Benares Hindu University, and was started by Malviya. And then he wanted to establish something in an area which will serve a large number of people. So he was looking for a place. First he thought of Madurai because there was a temple, Meenakshi temple was there. Then he decided not to. Then he came to Chidambaram. But Chidambaram is the place where his family used to do a lot of services. And his own older brother established Ramasamy Chettiar High School in 1912.
That's right.
1912. So they had a large amount of land adjoining the railway station at that time. So they decided to use that land. Then the first thing he did was establish Meenakshi College. The Meenakshi College was established for arts and sciences. Then he added a college for music and a college for Tamil. So together, there are 4 faculties, and that was used later as a basis for Annamalai University in 1929 with a large amount of donations given by him, both in terms of land and the cash given there. That is how Annamalai University began.
Sure. So when you mentioned Oxford, that is why he wanted to create a mimic of Oxford in Chidambaram.
And of course, he cannot create the same Oxford here, but he wanted to create a symbol of that. One of the important symbols of Oxford at that time was boating canal. Boating canal with the dimension, with the, I think, of 1.2 miles. So he created a boating canal in the campus, and it was a very important place for people to meet and so on. We used to pay 2 rupees per month to use the boats and so on, that kind of thing. So that was an interesting way of trying to connect it. Not only that, he wanted to make it like an Oxford. For that, he wanted to provide scholarships for the best lecturers. He did give scholarships for 2 people to begin with. That was Senkalvarayan, he didn't come back to Annamalai, and also Ramachandran. And he did not come back to Annamalai. He was in physics. These 2 people are funded by Rajasar Annamalai Chettiar, hoping they will come back to Annamalai to improve the quality of the things. It did not happen, but unfortunately, he did not continue that kind of a thing. When he was disappointed, these 2 people did not come. I think most of the people know about Chengalarayan. He was the professor of English at Pachabas College, and Ramachandran was the professor of physics in Presidency College.
Nice.
Amazing, sir. And you talked about the boating canal. Not anyone who is after 1980 who was in the university may know about this boating canal because it was destroyed. But whoever had an opportunity to be there in the university before that, amazing boating canal that we had.
Yeah, tell you. So my wife is now joining me now.
Awesome. Right timing, sir.
Vanga.
Vanga, vanakkam. Just to go on with your next.
Please share your association with family of Muthiah Chettiar.
I think, as I mentioned to you, that I know the family for nearly 60 years now, more than 60 years. I know the family when I was a small child, but right now the only Maharani Meena Muthiah is the closest friend I have. I know other people also, Muthu and other people, but I do not know. Ayyappan and other people. But Annam, the son of Meena, Annamalai, is known fairly well to me.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. How long it took you to explore Annamalai University in the beginning, like library, hostel? There are several buildings. How long it took for you to get?
I think one of the first things that struck me in Annamalai University was library. Library, when you used to walk over there, when you see, the library used to be a part of the Shastri Hall, one side of that. And we used to see the library stacks and so on. And I saw, my gosh, there are so many books, thousands of them. And then there was a big reading room, huge reading room, where you have got latest things. Every week, we used to get magazines from England, United States, other places. And so it was full of those things, a lot of interesting things, which we do not know. I think at that time, in 1949, my knowledge of English was limited. I know as a high school student be there. So, but still, you're interested to read Illustrated London, something of the very interesting things. That is how we are taken to a different perception.
Right.
Our view of what the world is was made based on what we saw, not necessarily what we read. We read something, no doubt, but what we saw make us feel we must also be a part of that. So the library was very good, and Nagaraj Iyer was the librarian at the time. And so Vaidyanathan and Suri are the two people who used to be there. So those two people are the people who used to give us the books and so on. So it was very interesting. I remember the people as if it is happening right now, sitting in the library and Vaidyanathan bringing the volume that they wanted. Mind you, I am a high school student coming here, then I'm sitting in a chair and somebody is bringing the book. It was really remarkable feeling of my gosh, what an interesting place it is. That is how we do that. Anomaly Library, one of the best places that we had, and that really that.
Proud to be an anomaly. Proud to be an anomaly.
Of course. That's where we are. Where I am today is because of that. Because of
Yes,
that.
we all are.
Yes.
And the best part of this series.
Yeah, people are sitting there, some of our close friends that we have, Devanayam, and Kannapan, other people who are sitting there, they will all know what I am referring to. It's a kind of a feeling that you get that you are an anomaly.
Definitely, sir. Especially when you said that I'm feeling right now as if everything is happening in front of my eyes. That's the whole purpose of being part of this, Annamalai University Alumni Association. And then also we have this, what we take you down the memory lane, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're asking about the hostels.
Right. We wanted to talk about your student life itself.
And in the hostels, there were the vegetarian mess, non-vegetarian mess, and also Malayalam mess, and also Andhra mess. You had all of that. So a person can join any particular mess and we equally divide the things. So I joined first the vegetarian mess. And there was one fellow by name Swaminatha Iyer. He's a very interesting character. And he used to be he worshipped woman by name, actress by name Rajakumari. And so, if you tell the Rajakumari's name to him, you'll get a better coffee. There's a very interesting kind of a characters that you have, right. and so on. And they gave a lot of interesting. It is very beautiful for us to have that kind of feeling. I can still feel the coffee made by Swaminatha Iyer in response to my comment. Rajakumari is a beautiful lady.
Very good.
She was.
That is true. That is true, sir. So some of the pictures that we have here, I wanted to share with you, and then see, we want to talk about a few things on that. Is the YMCA, the debate team.
Yeah, this is, in those days, Annamalai University used to get debating teams for different universities and from Colombo. This is the YMCA forum in Colombo. And they sent 4 people. These are this person and this person, and I think, and this person and this person. These 4 people came from Colombo. And then our university is represented by Sivasamy and this person, I forgot his name. And then there are other people who are there. I think this was one. So other people are standing there are members of the university senior union and junior union. In the junior union, we had a president, vice president. It was, this person was the president. He is the secretary. And myself and this lady and Balasundaram and Ramanathan, I don't see Ramanathan here. So we 4 were the members of that committee. So then these are the things we used to do. And in the union, we used to have a vigorous debates and so on. And this is a person who might have seen, Ramanujachari, you might have seen that. This is Dr. S.G. Manohar Ramanujam, our Vice Chancellor. This is
okay. This is the
Subramania Iyer. This is the C.S. Ramaswamy. This is the professor of Sanskrit, Venkateswaram.
This is your first year, sir.
First 3 months. I
First 3 months.
I joined the university only in June, around 15th or something like that. This happened within 3 months.
Excellent.
So,
16-year-old Madhavan sir.
learn. I
How
have to
charming he looks.
Yeah, look at that. This is what I am.
Yeah.
And I have to catch up with these big people. So, in a young boy trying to learn something, these are all older students, much better asking students.
Yes.
So that. And this is a very interesting thing. These are the people who help the Social Service League. This is Ramanujam. This is Manohar Ramanujam. This is Dr. A.C. Chettiar. You might have seen that. You might have seen something. This is a professor of history. This is Swayambhavam, and then this Subbaya and Triyana Sambandham. This is Rajaram. Rajaram used to be the director, yeah.
These people form as a team of the Social Service League.
Yes,
Is it right?
they did. Many of them were teachers in the Social Service League. These women mainly helped us to collect money a little bit, but also help us to help the young children in the Cherry area, yeah.
I think what you started down the lane, we called what's called the National Social Service, which is NSS.
Yes.
And I think at that point in time, by the time we were all there, we almost finished teaching everyone in the Chidambaram locality. So we used to go in a bus to other places to teach kids and ask them to take bath and exactly same things.
The interesting about the Social Service League is our association with the village, the Cherry, what you call Cherry, was very close. And we used to go there. I used to know the teacher there, Siva Subramaniam, very well. And so when we went there one night and we were discussing something, I was to say something that I didn't want Siva Subramaniam to know that I am going to say what I'm going to say. So I spoke in English to one of my friends. And he listened to that. Then we are about to leave. I told Siva Subramaniam, "Ayya, nanga poitu varan ayya." Then he answered me everything in English. Then nobody realized what a fool I am.
That was interesting.
You can see that the influence of that.
That's true. So what is this General Council of Associations and Societies?
This is established, this followed the University Union. The University Union was disbanded. The reason is, in 1949, September 30th, when you had the Founders' Day celebration, Mayor Ramasamy Naidu of Madras came there to deliver the address. After the address in the evening, they had a dinner. Vice Chancellor S.G. Manohar Ramanujam came for the dinner. And they're having the dinner and so on. There was some sort of a disturbance. Then we found out, I was not there at the time, we found out a group of people who called themselves young communists, something like that. They didn't want to Manohar them to go. So they want to garrow him, wanted to keep him there. Then he's continued until about 2 in the morning. And then Somasundaram and Madhavan, these two people, and they decided to take S.G. Manohar Ramanujam, by chancellor, bodily from there and brought them to the Vice Chancellor's lodge. And when that happened, they decided we must do something about the union. So they did not disband the union immediately. So they took 2 years, and the person who was responsible to manage that was Ramanujachari, who was sitting here. And then they decided the best thing is to give an opportunity for the school, the student leaders to get together and organize themselves. Then they decided the various societies and associations in the university will form a union, form a society. That is what is called General Council of Associations and Societies. And when they had a meeting in 52, I was chosen as the joint secretary when Ramaswamy was chosen as the secretary. And we two were able to manage everything. So the first photograph that we have another photograph with Dr. R.K. Shanmun Chettiar. Right? This is not the one. This is another one.
Correct. Okay, let me check that, sir.
Yeah, and Dr. R.K. Shanmun Chettiar, he was the Vice Chancellor. So we had the thing done, inaugurated under his sponsorship in October 1952. So we had the photo taken in the Vice Chancellor Lodge. At that time, Ramanathan Pillai was a deputy Vice Chancellor, deputy to Vice Chancellor. This is what I have here. This is Ramanathan Pillai. This is Dr. R.K. Shanmun Chettiar. Most of you know he was the first finance minister of India, and also the person who really settled what is called the relationship, financial relationship between India and England, what's called sterling balances. And he was the person who did that. And he became the Vice Chancellor at the request of Raja Sir Annamalai, Raja Muthiah Chettiar. So there is a building in his name in the university opposite to the guest house. And he was there and was really a very interesting person. And for him, the deputy was Ramanathan Pillai. Ramanathan Pillai used to recommend a deputy for him. And they will call him Deputy Vice Chancellor. Actually, he was deputy to the Vice Chancellor. Okay. And then university was running from that point.
Sir, you look very handsome in this picture. Achi, pathingla, and the picture.
This is, yeah. So we had that.
இது வந்து ஒரு ட்ரைனிங் அப்படின்னு நீங்க சொன்னீங்க சார், இந்த ட்ரைனிங் ஃபார்
இது வந்து இது பெருமாள், மிஸ்டர் பெருமாள், he was a Madras State adult education trainer, and we invited him. He came there for 1 week. This is me as the secretary of the thing, and you can see we have got 7 women in this photograph. This is the largest number of women in any photograph that you can possibly see in any of those places at that time, excepting perhaps in botany department. So these are the people who got trained for a week how to really approach the people who are elderly people who do not know much about ABCD or even Ana or something like that. So they taught us how to really do that. So we did it. These are the people. There are about 100 people, and we were trained. And then we went into the villages and so on, trying to do whatever we can. And we didn't have any way of measuring how much we did, but we did something. Yeah.
Excellent, sir. So
what
we'll take
was
this
the relationship among fellow students?
Yeah, we will come back to that, Jayashree. We just want to take a quick break.
Okay.
I would like to invite CS Shanmugaraja. Shanmugaraja, please turn on your video. Thank you.
I'm here, so I'm able to. Are you able to hear me? Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Muntu and Jayashree. So I'm CS 1990 Mechanical from AUAA University. Dear fellow alumni, I just would like to bring to your kind attention, we launched the AUAA University Alumni Association of USA in October 2020. We hope that you are all enjoying the current program. By listening to this program so far, I am sure it brought back a lot of memories for you from the golden days. To me, I started thinking about some of the landmarks like Sastri Hall, library, hostels such as Mullai Illam, Thamarai Illam, obviously, Travancore, guest house, Paris Corner, and the railway station, Maripanagar, Rajendran statue, and many more. Then in the city, we have hotels and restaurants such as Saradaram, AA, Naveen Nala, Mami Mess, as well as our hostel messes. Then in addition to that, our entertainment area like cinema theaters, Lena, Vadiganathan, Srinivasa, Nadaraja, Blue Diamond, and even the recent one, GM. Some of us still remember our lecturers, professors, HODs, deans, and even vice chancellors, and many more to cherish. So Annamalai University Alumni Association USA is the platform for alumni in the USA to get together and cherish our memories, to have fun and help others when in need. We request, please take a moment to visit http://AUAA-USA.org to register yourself and become a life member. And it is only $100 for lifetime membership. Also, please spread the message to your Annamalai friends and batchmates in the USA to make them member as well. Please remember to register and be part of the Annamalai University Alumni Association USA to have fun. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, CS. Just that, Jayashree, that you mentioned, we may want to talk something about family and then much more the relationships in those days, how it used to be. I would like to take a few seconds to play the music.
You think that may be an interlude?
Ama, sir.
I think you people are asking me something about that relationships between the men and women in Annamalai University. So in those days when we were young, we were not we did not know how to really talk to young women. So and also the same thing may be true with the young women also. I would say they were all girls, we were all boys at that time. So that's the kind of situation. But still, what happened, there were some very interesting relationships, particularly between the faculty and the students. So the first such relationship was between Somasundaram of chemistry and Alamelu. She was also a student of Somasundaram. And she was the daughter of the lecturer in Sanskrit. And so when they got married, it was a big news because it's very unusual, a Brahmin girl marrying a non-Brahmin boy. So, and Somandaram by the time finished his PhD under Dr. Balaya, and then the both of them left for Australia. Then the second one was a very interesting one also, N.P. Kalyanam in zoology. And he had a interest in a student in his class. And then finally they got married. Actually, Kalyanam's children are now in the United States now. I do not know where they are. If they hear this news, they will know, they'll be happy to know how their parents' love was nurtured by other people involved in it. So much so that Kalyanam was supposed to marry a Morepurna, that is a mama's daughter. He didn't. So finally, his own mama offered this girl as in marriage in the temple. That is how it happened. That's a very interesting thing. And the third thing is something that both myself and my wife were involved. And the interesting thing was, there was a young woman by name Jaya from Madurai. She was my student. She was doing a master's degree. She now lives in Regina in Canada. And my friend was a person by name Muthu Chidambaram. He was a lecturer in history and politics. And and they were interested for some reason. And then when Jaya came, told me at that time I was a lecturer. I said, all right. So we let her come to our house in the Annamalai University. And she used to come with one girl by name Sanda. And then they used to stay, and then Chidambaram and we used to talk for a few minutes and so on. And then my wife was, she was cooperative with me. So, and we were very interesting. And she's here. This is Jaya.
Right here.
Yeah, right here. Yeah. This is Jaya. This is other people. This is Kangayappan. This is Chidambaram's wife. And we were doing that. And so then we encouraged them. And then they started meeting even without my knowledge. I told Jaya, my gosh.
Sir, if you don't mind, Machi konjam ulla vandu solunga. Camera la avanga illa. We want to see the reaction of her too. Thank you.
Very interesting. Yeah, if you are hearing that, you know the story now. I told you I'm going to tell that. Okay.
So now she knows how you felt when they did not inform you. And then in their every meet.
No, not everything. By the time she graduated, they had to go, and then they had to meet in other places like Trichy and so on. Then they got married right away. It was not a thing.
So
one
this
question,
picture
sir.
was taken in Wisconsin later, right?
Yeah.
This was later, but one question on that, sir. In the relationships in the university, how easy or difficult was it then for guys and girls to talk in the university?
It's extremely difficult. Extremely. I think nowadays you said you're talking about Mullai and Tamarai when Sambhusundar was speaking, and you guys are going there regularly or something like that. There are so many.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when we were there are only a few women, and maybe about 100 people or something like that, not more than that. In my class, we had only 3 students in my intermediate class. One was a daughter of a professor of English, Meenakshi, and the other was a professor of mathematics, Kamala, and the third was a girl from Andhra, Nalini. There were 3 girls only, that's all, no more than that. In my graduate classes, and there were only 3 girls. One was Solochana, and the other was Kamala Pillai. A third was a nurse, sister Loretta. So there are not many opportunities for people to really get to know each other.
Correct.
But that most of the time it happened between the faculty and the students. There's one very interesting inter-religious marriage that happened during my time. That's between Balakrishnan in economics and also Mumtaj. She's a girl, a Muslim girl, and they liked each other. Then I said, go ahead, it's very interesting, but don't do anything. This is unusual. So they used to meet sometimes the department hall. That's all they can do. When they really wanted to get married, the person who really helped to convince Mumtaj father, who was coming from Malaysia, was a businessman there, was a woman by name Hamsadhani. Hamsadhani is, I should know that. I know very well. All right. Hamsadhani is the one who convinced Mumtaj's father that they love each other, so get married. There's the first religious marriage in Annamalai University during my time. I don't know how many we have now.
Right.
But maybe Mullai and Tamarai is more popular, I think.
I believe the Mullai Illam is for men. Now it's Tamarai and Rose. Tamarai and Rose now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So one more thing that I wanted to ask is what is the maximum a guy can do to even go or see the girl? There was one interesting story I heard.
At the most, you can stay at about 3 or 4 feet away and talk to each other. That's the maximum one can do.
Oh, is talking possible at all?
That's all. No touching.
Of course. No, even I heard that even talking is not a real thing that you
It's
can
not
do much.
easy, but it's all right. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We'll move on with the family incidents that we want to talk about. Jayashree Mohan.
உங்க பர்சனல் லைஃப் பத்தி சொல்லுங்க கொஞ்சம். பேரண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் வெட்டிங் ஆச்சியும் இருக்காங்க பக்கத்துல.
I think I got a picture of my parents there.
Yep.
This is that. Yeah, no, there's a marriage. This is my father, my mother. This is my brother. This was taken 81 years ago. I was about 7 years old at the time. And that is our family. Then I got married when I was only 20. My wife was finished high school. And at that time, it is very important. Indian Chettiar girls don't go to college. And even the high school was a big thing. So she finished high school. And then I got married when I was in the third year honors. So I did not fool around. I just kept myself together.
So would you have to go around the whole town in the horse?
This one, yeah. We had to go around the whole town. It's a small town where my wife comes from. We had to be taken in procession to each and every house to make them know that here is the bridegroom and who is going to marry this girl. That's what happened. This is my brother. This is my uncle's son who was carrying that.
Oh, okay.
So you got married while studying?
Yes. Yeah, this is our marriage photo.
Oh, beautiful.
It is May 3rd, 1953. 5353. That's the time I got married.
அட்டகாசமா இருக்கீங்க சார். Both of you look very pretty. So young. See, நீங்க காலேஜ்ல இருக்கும்போதே you got married, is it right?
Yes.
Okay.
At third year honors, yeah. After that, I studied. I spent 2 years doing my honors degree. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'll move on to the other one. Oh, this is the family.
This is the photo of after my son, younger son, Raj was born in Washington, D.C. The four of us. This is my older son, Nachi. Of course, this is my wife. So, and that was in 1964.
Excellent. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about your life as a staff member.
Yeah, as a
before we go there, sir, who was your favorite, professor or the class that you liked?
Yeah, I think as a professor, as you're talking about, the first person who really made me think and do something was Dr. Balaya. Dr. Balaya came to Anomaly University as a reader in chemistry in 1949. He also taught the first year intermediate student, junior intermediate student. So one day during his class, after the class is over, we are talking about something, two components. One is called magnesium dioxide, other is NH4. And so one is the oxidizing agent, other is the reducing agent. So I asked him, Professor, one is the oxidizing or reducing, will there be a reaction? He said, go ahead and find out. Look at that. That is in 1949, a professor who just returned from Stanford tells an 16-year-old boy who doesn't know much about anything research, said, go ahead and return it. And that kind of an encouragement is something that you cannot get it. That sets you in way what you're going to be. So the confidence he had in you to do something and is very remarkable. That's one. And another person who was very important in my life is Anantharaman. Anantharaman was a lecturer in economics, and we were more like a friends than like a professor and taught. And then I have known him for very close to 65 years, from 1952 until his death. He passed away only recently. So during this period, we are very, very close to one another. Not only me, there is a group of us in the whole group. And Muthuchambra is one of them. The other is Tyagarajan. And the other one is H.V. Shanmugam, who is still in Mariappa Nagar as a very good researcher.
Yes.
And one of the best students I ever had in my life was Sankar Narayanan. Sankar Narayanan, because even today, he's a big man in economics. He still today calls me Raj, like you people do. So Sankar Narayana was of the best. and he's one of the senior most economists in India. He has established himself, he's there. Then one of the interesting thing about the Annamalai University is how many people studied in one time in the University of Wisconsin. The University of Wisconsin, there were 10 Annamalaians studying, doing their PhD and master's degree. You saw a group of people. You have a photograph that I have of some of them. So you can see, this is Balasubramaniam in chemistry, this is Rangarajan in chemical engineering, this is Ramarao in agriculture, this is Muthukarpan in zoology, this is Soundarajan in economics. This is first from a different place. His name Palaniappan from Karakudi, Alappa College. This is the son-in-law of Ramalingam Pillai, and this is Tyagarajan, my friend, and this is me. So besides that, we had, of course, the one person preceded us was Dr. Anantharaman. Then after that, you have Karpan Jetty. He's a very well-known professor, and his son is perhaps one of the topmost economists in the whole world now. He may get a Nobel Prize sometime soon. And he is there. And Muthukarpan became the Vice Chancellor. And he still was working. I don't remember he's still working or not as a researcher in Madurai. And then we had Muthu Chidambaram was there. And Chidambaram in zoology was there. And then you also had in pharmacy, we had Udayamurthy. So these are the people who were there in University of Wisconsin-Madison during the period 1960 and 1967. This number of people, this large number of people is not to be found anywhere in the world of the Annamalai University students at one time. So Annamalai University owes a lot to University of Wisconsin. Unfortunately, most of us did not return, unfortunately. This is the thing.
That is true.
If only we had returned, it would have been a very different place.
Excellent,
and each one of us had a reason to do that. I couldn't return because I joined the World Bank. So it was a situation there, yeah.
Excellent, sir. I mean, talking about your experience as a staff member, you also built, once you became a staff member, you also built good relationship with your,
yes,
your own professors.
Yeah, and the advantage for me that I had was, as a student, I already had a relationship, a friendship. I won't say friendship. I know people like Professor Rajaram, Professor Balaya, and all of the people. So when I became a lecturer as a young boy, I was only about 22 at the time, 21, 22. So we used to go to the staff club to play, and we used to play rummy, the gin rummy. So the first person who will come for that at 5:30, 5 o'clock in the evening was Balaya. The next one will be a person like Alexander, or a person like Selvaraj. Selvaraj here? Selvaraj. So right. People like that will come, and I will join them. And there is a place where people from different places, different departments will get together and do that. So I think most of you should remember a person by name Kalliya Perumal Pillai. He was the person in charge of all the examination things. And he used to come. And Balaya will be there. We all play. We play for a cards, about 15 cents, something like that. So it was a very interesting thing. We used to be there between 5:30 and 7:30. Then only we come home to eat or anything, whatever it is. So here you have got people, many people. I think most of you know this person is Dr. This is Gopalakrishnan, Captain Gopalakrishnan, the first faculty captain. This is a Chari, second one. Second captain was this person, Sarangabani, that you have.
When we say captain, are they from the NCC?
No, NCC captain, yeah.
NCC captain.
Yeah, they're faculty members.
And you also had an opportunity to be part of the NCC,
yes.
Right?
Yes, I joined the NCC in 1959. and then I served only for about 3-4 months as a second lieutenant. In those years, the President of India, Rajendra Prasad, used to appoint me as a second lieutenant. Imagine that. President of India, of course, his signature only. He sent a letter saying, you have been appointed as second lieutenant in the National Cadet Corps, Annamalai University group. So, and I served in the Ariyalur camp for a while. That's we did that. So it's a very interesting thing. That's one of the last things I did. And
but for you,
yeah.
For you, you had an opportunity to be with the President of India once when you were a student.
So a student, when I was a student, the February 9, 1953, President of India visited us. As a secretary of the General Council of Association Societies, that I had the opportunity to garland him. My gosh, I was shaking when I was there, in front of the president. So you can see in my expression also the little fear also there. You can see that.
Exactly.
In those days, it used to be only a black and white, but it was colored by a Kembu studio, Chedramananan, and he did this coloring and he put all of that. He presented this photo to me on my wedding day.
Oh,
Very
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
because it was taken in February. Our wedding was on May 3rd.
Good,
Very
sir.
excellent gift for you.
So you had an opportunity very well to be a student, to be a faculty, working under several vice chancellors.
Yeah, I think I need to tell you a little bit about that vice chancellors and other things, a couple of things only, not very much more.
Sure.
That is, I think everybody talks about only Srinivas Shastri, but some of the very famous people, Ratnaswamy, Venkat Reddy, and all the people were there. So when I was there, I had the opportunity to know. Manohara Ramanujam, R.K. Shanmugan Chettiar, and Sir C.P. Ramsay Iyer, and Narayan Swami Pillai. Actually, RKS sent greetings, wished me very good for my wedding. He sent a letter. I still get that. So, and besides that, we also had a lot of other interesting things that is there. I had the good fortune of organizing the 42nd All India Economic Association Conference with Professor Sonachalam as a secretary. So we did a good job and we learned. This took me to a lot of places, meeting people from different walks of life throughout Tamil Nadu to go and collect money for the program and so on. So that is how I developed my thing. So that's the reason why I'm saying Annamalai University made me who I am. Annamalai University gave me the training, everything that I needed. I started my life as a professional life in Annamalai University in 55. I got it all the way to 2015, now in San Diego. I started my life as a volunteer in 1949. I'm still doing it in San Diego.
Amazing, sir.
Great service.
What you mentioned goes true for several people from Annamalai. All the alumni,
Yes.
they took that experience from Annamalai universities, which is very different than anywhere else. So what stakes their life. So here comes.
Please bear with us for a few more minutes. We will see the pictures on the journey to United States by Professor Madhavan, MC Madhavan.
Sure. So you can say a few things.
Madras Central Station. I'm leaving for Bombay, from where I took the steamer. These are my friends here who came there to see me off. This is one of my closest friends, Mr. Vaidilingam. There's another friend, Dr. Kadrivelu. This is a young man, boy who's standing there. They say the Madhavan is there.
Oh, that
this
one.
boy, yeah. And most of you heard his family's, what is that? They had
the Transport Corporation, Meenambiga.
Meenambiga bus service.
Meenambiga bus service.
Yeah, he was there.
So this thing still continues, sir. Wherever, whenever. At least when I was there, every weekend, people, students from Chennai will go to Chennai, We all
Yeah.
go there to the railway station to send them off, to see them off.
You go for different purpose.
That is that is true. It's just the fun of being together, sir. Good. This is one interesting
This is
picture.
an interesting picture.
And I heard that the significance of this number 10, if you can talk about it a few minutes.
10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, his residence. In 1960, when I was on my way to United States, I spent a week in London. And at that time, I went there to see what the number 10 Downing Street is. In those days, we can go all the way up to the door and go and touch the door. This is what I did. So you can see that is one of the best memories that you have. Touching the number 10 Downing Street in 1960 is very important.
Wow. So you mentioned while coming to United States
Yes.
that you took, via London that you came here. And I'm
Yes.
assuming those days there were no planes.
Yes, no, there were planes, but the scholarship that I received, the Fulbright scholarship that I received for travel, it enabled me to take only the boat. And the planes were there. It had to stop in so many places, and the jets were not very well used at the time. The 707 Boeing, it was not used at the time. It came to only 61. So before that, we had a different kind of a jet. Now, during this period, what we had was, we used to go around and then we got down, we come to Marseille. From Marseille to London will take, Southampton will take 1 week. So I got down in Marseille and came to London and spent a week with a friend of mine. That's how I went around London to see something. That is a place most of us know. We didn't know anything about, we read about it in the United States, but we not heard or done about it. So for us, London was the most important place. So I wanted to see all of that. My friend Madhavan helped me to go around and see that. That is the best thing that I did. Yeah.
Excellent. Sir.
Let us see the picture from World Bank.
Awesome. Let me get that. World Bank. What was that experience, sir?
That is what happened was in 1963, I finished my PhD prelim and I was writing my thesis. At that time, there was a competition throughout the world by the World Bank called Young Professional Program. So for that program, they interviewed people all over the world, close to about 2,500 people. They finally chose 11 people for the program. These are 11 people who are sitting there. And this is the President George Woods, Vice President George Wilson. This is Wonderland, and he used to be the director of the program. These are all students there. This is me. This is Monsad from Philippines. The people from different countries and so on. So you can see that I got that. I was the first person to get from India and also from Anomaly. I was not the first Anomaly person to join the World Bank. The first Anomaly person to join the World Bank was Badri Rao. Badri Rao is in economics. He was the first Anomaly person to join the World Bank in 1951 or something like that. When the World Bank was started in 1947, he joined the World Bank in 1951. And then I was the second person for Anomaly, but the first person to join the Fulbright, the Young Professional Program of the World Bank. So because of that only, I was allowed to do that by Chancellor Ramsamy Iyer. Sir CP told me, okay, we'll let you go. So I left Anomaly University. Otherwise, I could not have left. I didn't have any contract with Anomaly University, but they could have invested for me to stay on there, which he did not. So he let me go. That I joined the place. That is how I started my career in the World Bank. And then when I was in the World Bank, I forgot to write my thesis. And so there was a time limit within which thesis must be written within 5 years. The professors who came there told me in 1967, Madhu, you have to submit the thesis before 69 June. If you don't do that, you have to take your PhD prelim exam. I said, I cannot pass the PhD prelim exam again. So at that time they said there is an opportunity to teach in San Diego State University in San Diego. Then I came here with the intention of submitting thesis only, which I did before 69 June. And then we liked the place and we lived here for a while. And then we were trying to go to India back in 1971, joined the National Institute of Bank Management as a senior professor to advise the Reserve Bank and other places. So we were there, but unfortunately it didn't work out well. So I came back. The end of the story. Then from there, now I am in San Diego for the last 52 years.
Wow.
There are two places for me. One is Anomaly University, 10 years, 5 years in the World Bank, and then 52 years in San Diego. That's one of the finest places I can see.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I like the way you said I live in San Diego for a few years now. I like the spirit. Thank you, sir. Okay,
We have
very
a
good.
couple more pictures to go over before we wrap up. We'd like to share some important events in US during the last 60 years. You have received quite a large number of awards, and we would like to understand few of them.
Okay, this is
Dhawan?
one of the things that I did in San Diego was I was very much involved in the World Affairs Council. So I was a president of World Affairs Council for 3 terms, 1989 to 1992. I was on the board from 1985 to 2017 for 32 years. I have been with the World Affairs Council from 1970. Then the World Affairs Council decided that I may be the only one who have been a member of the World Affairs Council 50 years, not one of that. It must be somebody crazy to do that. And then they decided they must do something. So for what little I did, so they established a award called World Affairs Council Dr. M.C. Madhavan Award for the best student in the junior college. So it was funded by people from World Affairs Council and friends of mine. So the interest from that will be given in perpetuity as long as it lasts.
Very
So
impressive.
Wow,
that is
amazing.
something, yeah.
And this is the former Canadian Prime Minister
Prime
Kim
Minister
Campbell,
of Canada, Kim Campbell, yeah.
and she was there at the
Yeah.
inauguration of that
Yeah,
endowment.
No, one of
Excellent.
the programs that she came.
One of the programs. Okay, got it.
And you have received the Quest for the Best award, where the student chooses the best faculty in San Diego State University. Can you brief about that?
Yeah, that's true. The university chooses one person every year, and that person is considered the best student. And that person can nominate a faculty member who influences his life a lot. So that person, his name is there. His name is Ron Fowler, and his thing is over here, and the Quest for the Best. And he nominated me to be the person who has been his great influence. So it turned out to be all right. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Let's go over your local hero, San Diego.
Yeah, that was given mainly for people in San Diego who do a lot of things for the local people, local socially, economically, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So one year they chose me as a local hero, and then they gave the award. And then they gave also, it was also done in the major location, and they gave the award too. The award was actually given by the mayor of San Diego, and this was done in the area called Balboa Park. So
Wow.
you can see, yeah, there are about 3,000 students, 3,000 people were there. So we were doing that. So it was very nice of them to do that. What little I do has been recognized by the people here. More importantly, it gave me the fuller satisfaction. This is the most important thing. The fulfillment in life comes from what little you do for other people. And that is where I am fortunate to have my wife as the most important person supporting me, and the children helping me also. So, and the local people, all the people are helping me for many, many years. This is one of the best things that happened to me in my life.
Amazing, sir.
Amazing. Thank
No,
you
the best
so
part
much.
you said, yeah, you said you continue to do the service. That's amazing that the whole city for where you lived all these years recognized as the local hero.
Yeah, no, the reason is this is one place where I got something called Mahatma Gandhi Scholarship Awards. We give it to the people from families, the low income families. So we have started it in 1984. In the 37 years, we have supported very close to 700 students of the scholarship, and we have given more than $1 million, $1.2 million now in scholarships. It's not a big amount, but the point is that they recognize that and they feel very good about it. That is the important thing is each one of us from India who are the recipient of very good things in this country have owes a lot to this country. We should take at least we must at least try to help one student in our lifetime in the United States to go to college. This is the least we could do with the amount of money we have earned. We are the richest community in the whole of the United States. There is no reason not to do it.
Very motivating.
So now that is my mission in San Diego. We have been doing it for 37 years. So it's very nice. My friends really make it happen, not me alone. I'm only a small boy. So my friends are the ones who are helping me to support this program. Every year we give $100,000 now. It's possible because of the friends, their commitment to the community here. So you and the children and grandchildren should do something. Your children have everything they need. Whereas there are 40% of families in this country whose children do not have anything. So it is important for us to do something for the benefit of those people. So I thank you very much for taking this opportunity to interview me. I thank you on my behalf, on my wife's behalf. All right.
Thank you so much for sharing your valuable memories and also motivating us by your successful journey to United States as well. Over to you.
Yeah, and sure. And not only that, sir, thank you so much that you took us all back and we thought we are young. No, we are not just young. We are just still babies. That's the best motivation that we could get from you. And also still you're young at heart and you are not only just a local hero of San Diego, you are a local hero for Anamalians as well. Every Anamalian should look at you and how you learned what you learned and you're giving back to the community wherever you are, however you are. But today we are also trying to do the same thing for the university back. There's so many minds that they want to put together and then do something for good for the students or people there in Annamalai University. So that's all we are here for. Thank you so much, sir. Amazing journey with you we had.
Thank you. We are very proud of you.
Very proud of you, sir. அம்மா உங்களோட சப்போர்ட் ஃபுல் சப்போர்ட் நீங்க காலேஜ்ல சார் படிக்கிறதுல இருந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் கொண்டு வந்துட்டீங்க. அமேசிங் சப்போர்ட்.
உங்க சப்போர்ட் இல்லாம அது முடியாது.
ஏன்னா எஸ்பெஷலி நீங்க கொடுத்த சப்போர்ட் ஒன்னு சொல்றேன். சார் சொன்னாங்க எவ்ரிடே நான் வந்து we used to play the cards and come back at 9 o'clock. Well, these days it's not much possible for us. So very good, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite Arun Mori at this point in time to give information about the upcoming event.
Thanks. It was exciting and amazing down the memory lane, truly down the memory lane. Thank you, Madhavan, sir. So the next one in our series of speeches that we are organizing, as you know, first we organized the current affairs about the travel to India. Now the down the memory lane series. The next one is on the entrepreneurship side. Probably one of the earliest entrepreneurs of Annamalai University alumni in US, Mr. Paul Pondian. He's 1960 batch and he is a long-time resident. தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா அந்த காலையில பாட்டு வந்தது earlier சகலகலா வல்லவர். Obviously is a tech startup, very successful serial entrepreneur on the technology side. One of his major achievement was a company called Access Technologies, which was eventually acquired by Mahindra British Telecom, which was later became Tech Mahindra. He has a food processing company. He has a logistics company. He has a floriculture business. He has made movies. He is a producer. The Bommalatam, the Nana Patekar movie, was produced by him. He has financed the Bharati movie. He's involved in being in Texas. He's also involved in oil business. And there is just, it's not it's one whole day, we can whole hour on introducing us. But so we are going to talk to him about his entrepreneurship experience and learn from him. That is on the February 13th. So one of the very exciting session that we are looking forward to. Please do not miss it. And again, if those of you who have not yet become a member of USA Alumni Association, please do become a member. Thank you, Muthu.
Thank you, Arun Marie. At this time, I would like to take the time to give a vote of thanks. First of all, Professor MC Madhavan, thank you so much. Thank you for taking your time and spending all the time with us, that we were able to, not just us, the whole world, whoever is listening to and will be listening to us, it's being stored in YouTube, are able to enjoy the journey that you had. And thankfully, I would like to thank to the AUAA-USA board members to allow us to organize such events. And first of all, in the list of thank you, there's quite a few of them. Narayanan Vaidyanathan of the 1991 E&I is part of that. The first song that we played, it's a song that he recently recorded. Back in those days, he used to be a great musician in the band that we had. His part, and his friend Suresh Ramachandran was the vocalist in that song. Thank you for your contribution. And Shanmugaraja of 1990 Mechanical, also known as CS, he came and talked about the association and membership, requesting everyone to be part of it. Arun Marie is 1989 E&I for announcing the next event. It's an amazing event, how we all learned to come to US and then wanted to be entrepreneurs. But some of us are, so we'll hear more on the February 13th. And Jayshree, thank you so much. Jayshree Krishnamurthy, she's from 1993 B-Farm, for being the MC, connecting this whole event. Very well, thank you. And Ilandendral Shanmugasundaram of 2004, IT, Information Technology, for providing the IT, I should say information technology support for this event. And of course, the last but not least is Varnika Ilantendral, who's a 10-year-old. She is the one who did the flyer for the event. So thank you very much, Varnika. With that said, I would like to thank everyone who has been watching in this event live and who will be watching as well. Thank you very much. See you all at the next event. Signing off. This is Muthu Edilan, 1990 Mechanical. Thank you. Bye-bye.